everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Liz Loves Books. Today we're going to be talking about some of my March anticipated releases. So we are going to start in order with the first release date in March, and that is March 3rd. And the first book I'm going to be talking about is The Library of Amerlin by Kaylin Josephson. This is book 1 in the Age of Beasts series. I do have an e-arc of this from NetGalley, and I haven't read it. Such a shocker there. Goodreads says it's a brilliant con artist and a secretive librarian collide in Kaylin Josephson's enchanting adult fantasy debut packed with twists, tricks, slow burn romantic tension, and magical creatures. Perfect for fans of S.A. McLean, Mike Corland, and K.A. Lind. And this is kind of like a fantasy romance subplot book. Next on March 3rd as well is To Cage a Wild Bird by Brooke Fast. Now this was indie published and became really popular last fall, so it's gotten picked up. I've heard really amazing things about it. And this is book 1 in the Divided Fates series. And it says, enter the brutal world of Endlock, a prison where the wealthy hunt the inmates for sport. The first novel in an electrifying dystopian romance series. This high-octane debut about forbidden love, found family, and a fight for survival will leave you breathless. So it's kind of that really popular theme right now of fantasy and dystopian fantasy. Next, on March 3rd, we also have Just Friends by Haley Pham. This is one of like the OG booktubers. And this is her debut book. And it says, this heartwarming and swoon-worthy second chance romance about childhood friends reconnecting as adults is the highly anticipated debut novel from BookTok icon Haley Pham. I am a little worried because it only has 652 ratings and is already at a 3.56, so it is quite a bit lower. But, you know, if you're getting traditionally published with your debut book, I think you're still a winner. So, again, on March 3rd, we have Across the Vanishing Sky by Catherine Cowles, book 1 in her new series, the Starlight Grove series. I've read Fragile Sanctuary by Catherine Cowles, and she does a lot of romantic suspense books. I really enjoyed the one that I've read. I have all the other books in that series, so I need to read it. So I also have an e-arc of this book, and I haven't read it yet, which I do feel really bad about this one because I'm on her team. But it has a really good amount of ratings so far. It's got a 4.71 with 777 ratings. A little bit of a description of this one. It says, he spent a lifetime trying to escape his dark past, but to save her, he'll wade back into the shadows. It follows our FMC, her name is Braden Winslow, or Bray, and then our MMC, his name is Dex Archer. Just know it's romantic suspense. I believe the main character is like a FBI hacker from what I've heard. So, kind of different and unique. So this next one, it says it's also coming out on March 3rd, but I think it's just a re-release of one of Frida McFadden's older books. And it's called Want to Know a Secret. And I'm looking because it said it was originally published in 2021, but there's currently like a giveaway for it for the release, so I think it's just a re-release with a new cover potentially. It's Frida. Everyone knows she writes, really fast-paced thrillers that are kind of, a little bit nonsensical, but they're really easy to listen to on audio. That's how I consume a lot of her books. And this one says, everyone has secrets. YouTube baking sensation April Masterson knows the secret to the perfect gooey brownies, or how to make key lime squares that will melt in your mouth. But if you keep watching her offline, you may find out some other secrets about April, secrets she'd rather you didn't know. Like, where did her son go when he snuck out of the house? What was she doing with the local soccer coach behind fogged windows? And what's buried in her backyard? Everyone has secrets, some are worse than others. April's secrets are enough to destroy her. I'll make sure of that. Our last March 3rd release, we have A Ghastly Catastrophe by Deanna Raybourn. This is book 10 in the Veronica Speedwell series, and you'll see in my wrap-up, I have the 4th book in the series. I'm only 4 books in, so obviously I don't want to say too much about this book just because it's the 10th book in a series. But it says, Veronica and Stoker are practically dying for a new adventure, but when their wish is granted, they find themselves up against a secret society and a darkly seductive duo in this landmark historical mystery. So, Deanna Raybourn. This series itself is a historical mystery series, it's just really fun and really different. And I highly recommend this series for sure. Then moving on, we only have one release on March 10th, and that is How to Write a Love Story by Catherine Walsh. Now, this was a new author I just found back this Christmas time because she does have 2 Christmas books that are really, really popular. And she's finally coming out with a new release. And I am so excited because it takes place in Ireland. And I've been there and it's absolutely beautiful. And it says, an ambitious editor travels to Ireland to help the daughter of a fantasy author legend complete her father's final book, only to fall in love with her in the process. Catherine writes really great contemporary romance books, but they're still such good romances. And just the way she writes is just so easy to read and bingeable, but still has a lot of depth to it. So I highly recommend Catherine Walsh if you are looking for a new author. Now moving on to March 17th, we have You Did Nothing Wrong by C.G. Drews. I've mentioned this author and this book before on this channel, and I have an NetGalley arc from this author, which I am definitely going to be reading in the beginning of March. C.G. Drews, this is their adult horror debut. They've done YA horror previously. And it's described as like a horror-inducing psychological suspense for fans of The Push and Baby Teeth. Her description on Goodreads says, single mother Elodie's life has become a fairy tale. She's met Bren, equal parts golden retriever, devoted and sinfully handsome. He's whisked her and her autistic son Jude to the crumbling family house he's renovating. She has a new husband, a new house, and a new baby on the way. Everything is perfect. Then Jude claims he can hear voices in the walls. He says their renovations are hurting the house. Even Elodie can't ignore it. Something strange is going on. The question is it with the house or with her son? Then the one secret Elodie has been hiding is revealed and no one is safe anymore. A post-pounding clever take on the haunted house novel, You Did Nothing Wrong examines the complexities of motherhood and the twisted bonds of family as it races to its shocking ending. So I have a lot of high hopes for this book. A lot of haunted house books that I have read have kind of disappointed me. Then we're moving to March 24th. We have The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. She's a very extremely popular contemporary romance author. I am currently reading Part of Your World, which is the first book that I've ever read by her, and I'm really enjoying the writing, and it's really easy to get through, so I'm looking forward to it, and the cover is absolutely beautiful. It says, a compelling novel that revels in laughter, friendship, and the messy choices life can throw our way. In everyone's life, there's a split-second decision that can change everything. For Larissa, it came when choosing which guy to ride home with after a concert. That night, she had no idea she'd met the perfect man. She and Chris are great together, co-parenting a slightly unhinged rescue corgi, Yorkie, sharing their favorite books, and judging bread, pumpernickel for the win. For the first time, amid all her side hustles to scrape by, things finally feel easy. But Chris isn't the one who drove Larissa home all those months ago. Chris is her boyfriend's best friend. All Chris wants is for Larissa to be happy. Standing by on the sidelines is slowly killing him, but making a move would destroy someone else. And he's just not that guy. Ooh, so that's gonna be complicated for sure. Looking forward to it. Then on March 24th as well, I saw this. I'm not sure if it's like official. It does say expected March 24th, but it's book 0 or like a prequel called Beneath by Ariel Sullivan. And then this is, like I said, a prequel to the book Conform, which was a really popular book that came out this fall. I actually have it checked out from my library right now. Haven't read it, but I'm really intrigued by it. So this is supposed to be like a prequel of the events beforehand. I just haven't heard anybody talking about it. And considering how popular Conform has been, I'm just kind of surprised that nobody's talked about this. And it's not like it's a novella. It's a 464 pages. It's a full-length prequel novel. Hundreds of years before the Ilum ruled supreme, humanity risked everything to rebuild after a devastating war in this explosive dystopian romance and prequel to Conform. So, if you have read Conform and you want more from that author, there's a new book coming out. Now again on the 31st, we have What We Did to Survive by Megan Lally. The only reason this kind of popped up on my radar is because I have a book checked out from my library by this author called That's Not My Name. It's a YA kind of horror or thriller, psychological thriller that I've heard really, really great things about. And so I was like, oh, the author's coming out with something new. Let's see what it is. It says, a vacation in paradise turns deadly when 14 sailing charter hits stormy seas in this repulsive new thriller. Hannah is having an incredible spring break, a week at a resort in Mexico with her best friend Emmy, and her family is perfect for de-stressing from senior year. Even if it's awkward being around Emmy's older brother Jackson, who she's had a crush on for as long as she can remember. Still, the beach is gorgeous, so is a guy they meet in the surf. Except Hannah is not the third wheel in Emmy's vacation romance. Eager to impress Emmy, her wealthy new boyfriend charters a private sailboat to make the most of their last day in paradise, and Hannah and Jackson are invited along. As the clouds roll in and the skies darken, their boat is the only one leaving the marina. And the further they get into open water, the more unsettled Hannah becomes. A storm is brewing on board that's as deadly as the one racing toward them. Forget surviving graduation. Who will make it back to land alive? So, in the middle of the ocean? That's super cool. And finally, on March 31st, we have Sorry for Your Loss by Georgia McVey. This was a book I found on NetGalley's title request page, and I got accepted, so I need to read this in March as well. It is, again, like a mystery thriller adult novel. It says the story of two people, both as magnetic as they are dangerous, who get caught in an electric game of cat and mouse. The question is, who is the predator and who is the prey? So, the thriller synopses are always more interesting than I end up thinking they are. But, you know, I keep trying. You never know what could be good. But yeah, those are all the anticipated releases that I'm found for March. Let me know in the comments below if there's other ones that are releasing that you are interested in. And I will see you guys in another video soon. Bye, guys.